Bart's got some questions for me now.
Yeah.
I guess, but I don't know what he's going to talk about. I mean, I have no clue, but that's the beauty of it. I'm assuming he's going to ask something about what I do, but who knows? Maybe he has other questions. So it's up to you now.
All right. Well, Blue, how long have you been telling stories? Because the way I see it, to sum up Blue Green, you are a storyteller, and you are a storyteller in just about every possible medium.
Yeah, it started with me. It started probably way back when I liked to read when I was a kid. Well, I liked to read books that I enjoyed. The ones I read that I enjoyed, I could read them and I could retain them. Stuff that I didn't enjoy, I have ADHD. I couldn't read them. I just like get done and be like, what the hell would I read? Study, get an F on the test, literally, and get a D or an F the next day and think I'm dumb. But then I could read a book and like get lost in this world. And then I'd see people read in class out loud, like we had to read out loud. And I used to hate reading out loud because I would jump ahead and I didn't read smoothly. And I really love those people that could like just read so good, or they put emotion into like we were talking earlier with the books, they knew how to emote and make you feel it. And I grew up in Southern Ohio. I didn't know anybody that did this stuff. So I never really got to embrace it, really. I read National Geographic magazine. I watched, we had National Geographic magazine, and I also watched PBS a lot. So I learned to do that. But when I first became a storyteller I was doing basic programming, on a computer, you start with lines 1-0, input this, and basic programming. I'd make games, and I was making games that were just as advanced as the games I was buying on cassette tape at the time. You have to put a tape in my TRS-80 and load it in there.
I remember that.
And it was all text-based games, go north, south, and then, there's a door. Well, open door. Door opens. And then I could put a picture of a sailboat or something, or a room with like real crude graphics. I mean, you had to look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's a boat. I see some water. There's a triangle,
ASCII graphics?
Yeah, it was basically just, I think there was a grid. You just like colored in the grid basically and that's how it was a stagnant graphic. And I never continued that because I didn't know anybody. And I was the only kid that had a computer. Everybody else had like Commodore 64s were a computer, but they were using it with computer games. They weren't necessarily programming on it. I was programming, and I didn't know anybody, so I put it away. And I was horrible in English. I couldn't spell to save my life. I still have trouble with spelling, but I've gotten better grammatically. Oh, it's horrible. And I had great stories, but I couldn't write them because we didn't have the spell checks then. So I would they would put me something like, this story is really good, but I gotta fail you because you can't spell. Your grammar is horrible. And when I got into college, I kind of put that off until I took a creative writing class. And then the teacher, it was actually script writing, that was film critique. That's what it was. Right? It was basic English, one of the basic English classes. And they said, you're a really good writer. You got creativity, but you just need help. And they sent me over to the labs, and I started working with lab people. And they built my confidence up slowly but surely. And I was never good at writing, so I decided to go into video. And that's how the video storytelling came about. And once I became a good video storyteller, I studied script, I studied film. I know the hero's journey like the back of my hand. I know when I watch a movie that 15 minutes in, this is going to happen, 20 minutes, this is going to happen. I know the end of the film before the film ends 95% of the time. Cage is a good one that throws me a curveball. But, I learned that. And that's like, and I embraced it, and I started doing these little video stories. Started with Al Gore's channel. He had a channel, what was it called? Current Television. And that was a nationwide TV station. That was when Obama was president. I did a couple stories on them. And then I did Time Warner cable, local programming.
Yeah.
Did some shows on there and started getting paid for this stuff. And then it evolved into be a citizen journalist. I taught citizen journalism at the Beacon Journal. We were funded to the tune of like $500,000 through the Akron Community Foundation, and we taught citizen journalism. I came up with the classes. We did a whole curriculum. We gave people cameras. We taught them how to edit, and we sent them out to do stories. And at the time, we wanted to work with PBS, but we could be consistent. So later on, I approached PBS separately and said, hey, I want to do a show all my own. And they said, make a pilot. So I said, sure. And I made a pilot. And that's kind of how I got into being the storyteller that I am. And the stuff on stage also, I forgot about that. The on stage storytelling before I was doing that, before I did the show. That kind of got me comfortable being on stage. And I realized I'm pretty good at it, and I can get people to laugh. And I also have trouble making eye contact with people because I think it's like my ADHD or maybe autistic trends. But when I'm doing interviews, I can look at you and I can talk to you. And I'm on stage, I can look at people and talk to you. But if it's just a conversation with a bunch of people in the room, it's like I'm very awkward and uncomfortable. So it was finding where my fit was, basically, to tell stories. So if you were to sit me in a room with a bunch of people here, I wouldn't be good. We had to all have idle chit chat and things of that nature. But if you put me in front of a camera or on a stage and when I can actually talk and do stuff, or behind an editing realm and I can make videos, that's where it comes in.
I never really thought about that, but I am very much the same way. Like I'll constantly, I'll talk your ear off in the podcast, but if I'm, small group of people in person, I'm the quietest one in the group.
It's a thing. I mean, it's an autistic ADHD trait. I'm on the spectrum without a doubt. I'm not saying, I'm like way in the spectrum, but ADHD, without a doubt, I'm like, yeah. I tell people a lot of times, if I want to feel bad about myself and I want to do good on a test, I'll go take an ADHD test. And I aced them bad boys. I get 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20 every damn time. But I'm high functioning. Most people never know it. And then once you get to know me, you know it. My friends know it. My friends that know me for 25 years, they know I'm a weirdo. There's nothing wrong with being weird. Different. I don't want to say weird. I mean, you're beautiful for who you are. Talking directly to watching this podcast here. You're just different. And that's beautiful. We should embrace our differences. And, just because someone's not making eye contact doesn't mean they're not trying. They want to. It's just tough sometimes. This is like my job now. So it's like, I'm on my job so I can do it and I don't feel bad.
So how many years have you been doing Around Akron?
Around Akron, this is the 9th year now. Yeah. I'm up to 90 something episodes.
Wow.
Or 80 something. I'm in my 80s. I forget exactly what I'm at. I want to get 100. I'm every other month now. I used to be every month, but they have some other shows now, so they cut my show back a little bit, which is, it happens. I was bummed out about it. I really was. It hurt. But, it's a lot of work. So it's kind of like a little bit of a break, I guess. And I do get money for this. I mean, I get paid. It's not like a lot of people, it's like, you're on TV. My daughter, through her life, people were like, you must be rich. Your father's on TV. And I'm just like, well, no, he's not.
There's a difference between being on local public television and being on late night, May 4 channels.
I mean, for a point of reference, Ken Burns, PBS, documentarian. He's done every documentary you could possibly imagine out there. One of the biggest ones. His net worth is not that much compared to what a director in Hollywood is. I mean, he's making a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. He does well, but you would think this guy has he's told the American story, and he would be put on a pedestal of moneymakers because he's helped educate us. Education doesn't pay that well, unfortunately. if he did maybe the history of blood and gore and violence in America, I might get some paycheck for that one, unfortunately. But yeah, it's not a high payer, unfortunately.
What got you into deciding to go around and interview people around Akron? Why did you choose that as your topic?
It's underrepresented. At the time, there was nobody telling stories video-wise in Akron. I mean, the stories that I was seeing were, at the time, it was a serial pooper about a guy pooping on cars in Kenmore. Literally, that was a story. And I was tired of seeing the worst of the worst. And when I grew up in Southern Ohio, it was near Wheeling, West Virginia, Steubenville, and Pittsburgh area. We had several television stations competing, in that area. And not up here in Akron didn't have television because Cleveland's the market. So we didn't have a lot of television. Down there, you saw people that looked like you, your cousins, your uncles, your brothers, whatever, on TV. Sometimes it was for DUIs and whatever, or busts for doing things. But sometimes it was good people doing good stuff, or local athletes of the week or smart people or band members or whatever. And I didn't see that up here, so I wanted to start, because if you want to be proud of your area, and one time I saw a kid throwing garbage like on the street with a can right beside him, and I'm like, if he had pride in his area, didn't think it was a prison and hated, because every kid hates where you grew up at, right? I hate this town. I want to get out of here. But if you had some pride in your area, it'd be great. That's kind of why I started. And it's tough in a city that's a Rust Belt city, that's a ghost of its past. I mean, I love the city of Akron, but there is a night that goes by that I don't hear just some of the worst stories. I've seen gun violence. I've heard gun violence. People got shot outside my house in there. He's dead. It's hard to champion an area, but we need it. Because if no one champions, that's all you hear is the gunshots, is the death, is the meth raccoon. That's all you hear and nothing else, And then what do you think about this area? I don't like it. Who cares about this area? When there is so much amazing history in this area, and just little things. And John Brown House. Don't look up John Brown and tell me that doesn't make you just be like, wow, I love Akron. Maybe some people don't like that, but I do, I think that's a great story. I guess where you're at, John Brown. John Brown's considered to be a terrorist in some states and a hero in others. In this state, he's a hero. He was an abolitionist. He helped free slaves, but he also kicked off the Civil War in a roundabout way. So anyways, Barberton, Ohio Columbus Barber. You know how many people in Barberton have no idea who Ohio Columbus Barber was and started that town? How more immigrant can you be than Ohio Columbus Barber?
Yeah.
You name your kid Ohio Columbus. And he's made a whole town like Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's what people call Barber-tucky. Barberton. Amazing history that people don't realize. The park system in our backyard. It's like you realize that you go anywhere else in the country, not literally, but a lot of places, you have to travel to get to a park. Like literally get in the car and drive 45 minutes to an hour to get to a park. And here, throw baseball, you hit a park.
Yeah.
And no one talks about it. So there's wonderful stories. And that's one thing I used to get. Are you going to tell these stories? Yeah. And give me a restriction. Give me a mile radius from where I live, and I'll make you a year's worth of stories. It's just how much you did, how much you dig. There's a story everywhere.
Oh, and I think it depends on, as long as, if you find the person who has the story, if you can get them to start talking, that you got it right there.
And a lot of times you can dig it up too. There's history that's lost. I've made several stories that I just found, pieced together what I've been able to find, and made a story out of it. The history of jazz, Street and Howard. I've interviewed as many people I can, but I couldn't find a lot of people that remembered that except for telling me little bits of stories. I did as much history as I could, and I told a story about it. And that story's been used a lot to help promote the history of jazz on Howard. And I wasn't around then. I just talked to a few people. The park systems, a lot of times too, I'll go and put a park story together, as much as I can, because I can't find someone that's going to tell me about it. But you can also, dig deep and find some history and put it together. But those stories are hard. I mean, I thought it'd be easier doing it that way, but it's much easier to find someone to tell you the story and put it together. At least with me, I thought it'd be easier to put my own stories together. They're way harder. way more work to get the story out.
What's been some of your favorite stories that whether you've thought them out or like favorite, either stories or people you've interviewed?
They're all great, and I don't want to just sound like, PR. Oh, I love everybody, but it's like your children. They're all good stories, and I make the best out of I can to make every story kick ass. Try to put ass in a story, but anyways, I'm trying to be clean in my podcast, but I want them to be good. I want them to be proud to watch that story. I've had some interesting ones, and I've done some interesting things. There's ones that I'd like to get to that I haven't, but I got to ride in a B-25 or 7 or I don't know, one of them warplanes. From Dayton to Ohio, I flew up here from Dayton to the Maps Museum. And wow, I had the worst headache ever in my life because it's just like straight fumes. And it's loud as hell. I mean, you can't hear. You look down, you could easily fall through. And an open window with a gun out of it, you're looking, hang out the window. Literally, it was crazy. I went up on top of the PNC building to do intros. Someone got us up there to do intros because it'd be fun to film with the city. And before we went up, they made us sign a waiver. I'm like, why? Because we don't jump off or something? And no, because the Peregrine Falcon might attack you while you're up there and you're not going to sue us. Oh, really? Like, as long as you stay away, it'll be okay. And that thing was up there the whole time. It screams. And if you don't know about a peregrine falcon, check them out. I mean, they designed the bombers after them because they can move so fast. They pop heads off of creatures they're a raptor. They eat other animals, eat other birds, right? So they'll hit a bird so hard it'll pop its head off, kill it instantaneously, and they're nothing to be messed with. That was interesting. Just being let into like the pierogi lady doing pierogies, Arnold's Candies, getting to see them make candies. Ooh. That was great. Going to Diane Coffee and seeing them, make the coffee and roast the beans right there in front of me. Hartville potato chips. Seeing them make potato chips, get to have a potato chip right off the line, fresh. Everybody talks about when they were kids. I get to actually do it. You can't do that anymore. I'm interviewing the mayors. I get to interview Dan Horgan twice. Once on the way in and once towards the ending. And the first one, it was a long interview. The second one, it was like, this handler was like, you got 10 minutes. Hey, I have no animosity. I mean, I don't want to like champion anybody. And the new mayor, he's great. I mean, I see him and he goes out of his way to talk to me, which is just wonderful. They're all good stories. They're all fun. Let's see. Skiing, water skiing, Chippewa Lake. The Chippewa was they do it over in like Barberton, Norton area, and it's like a little lake they do this thing in, and it's amazing how they can get up there and do this stuff. I guess the other things that I really, really enjoy when people just out of the blue come and talk to me. And I'm outside. I'm pretty hermity. I don't leave my property that much. I garden and I work and I stay at home because I'm a homebody. But when I'm out and about, people do come up and talk to me and they thank me. And it's always uncomfortable to an extent too, because someone will like lock eye contact with you from across the room and I'll walk over to you and I'm like, do they know me? Do I know them? I mean, I met a lot of people and I forget people and people look different too, as they age. And then they're like, I watch your show. And then I realize, oh, they know me that way and I don't actually know them. Or I've interviewed them and it's happened to me and I don't remember interviewing them. And then once they tell me, and sometimes just people look different, it's not because I don't remember them. And I also have trouble sometimes associating with somebody until I hear them. And when I hear them, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's them. But sometimes I won't, even though I know it's them in my mind, it doesn't lock in until I hear them. But yeah, I like when people come up and thank, it's always fun. And I've been yelled at from a distance from people, but I don't think they knew who I was. Just, oh, there's a media guy in town. Let's just give him harassing because he's some media guy. But so far it's been a fun ride.
What do you think, because you're saying, some of the stories were hard to get, what do you think is the biggest issue that you're starting to find, you think, how some of these stories are getting lost?
It's time, I wish someone's watching. I wish I could find an independent funder that want to fund this well and I would do this 3 times a week and a studio and really put stories out there. If I had a crew to work with and I had editors and I could lead a team and make tremendous amount of content. I'm doing it by myself. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. That's why, it's hard for me to like relax because I want to do stuff and I want to do more and do more and do more. But I realize that I'm only human. I'm 51. I'm getting older. So my age is catching up to me. And I'm in pretty good health still and I can still get around. But I have to remember, it's 11 o'clock at night. You need to go to sleep. You've been up since 5:30 in the morning, running all day, doing your stuff. And that's where the stories are lost for me. And I don't like calling people. I hate cold calling and chasing people down. And occasionally people cancel on me. It happens. And it's happened sometimes and it irritates me. But, I try not to just let it go, Some people, it's not their full-time gig, it's just, they do it on the side and they forgot about it. Or if something came up, their kids got sick, and things like that. But I just wish I had more money. I wish I was independently wealthy and I could just make content and never have to worry about anything else. I feel I'm good at it. And I really hope that this show would do that, Someone would say, we need to fund that guy, and it's never happened. And I haven't went out and shook in the hands, and I don't go to the meetings, I don't join the clubs, and I don't do all that stuff. So it's partly my own fault. If I probably did join the social clubs in Akron and the Falls like that, what are the business, what are they called? The Chamber of Commerce, things like, and they've reached out to me, wanted me to join. I'm like, I don't got any money. So I don't, I'm not good at business. I'm good at storytelling and I'm good at creating stories. So my biggest fault is I'm not as good as I want to be in other realms. I don't have like a million. I wish I could clone myself. That'd be great. Well, I know it wouldn't, but it would cause problems. I watch too much sci-fi to know that would cause problems. But
all the clones would be better.
There's been so many. I don't want to make them half. They would have problems. They would have one taking care of the other one. I don't know. I just wish I had more time. I wish my daughter was into it, and she's not. She does her own thing, I wish I could like influence her and be like, oh yeah, she's gonna be a storyteller too, but it's not her thing. But
she just graduated high school, didn't she?
No, she's a junior. She'll be a junior, so she's getting there. She's in the fall. She plays volleyball, and that's her thing. And she's probably gonna go to college for volleyball. She's been lettered 2 years now, and it's pretty amazing. Let her freshman year. I was amazed. She started in the 7th grade, and I was like, she'd never played volleyball before, and I'm not in sports that much. I played baseball as a kid. I was really good at it, but I quit when I was like 16 because I broke my hand. And I'm like, Zoe, they might not be too good at it. These kids have been playing for a long time. You might not make the team. I set up for failure, and she made the team. And then 2 years later, she's making varsity. Just amazing how good she's done. And she's got a good brain too. I mean, I don't got a bad brain, but I got a bad brain. I mean, I got a brain that's selective. Her brain is good. She gets good grades. She makes honor roll, and she's there's some smart person's thing in school. What is it?
Honor Society.
She's in that. Yeah, I think it's the honor. She's in that. She goes and does stuff in businesses, and it was never. I barely got out of high school. My mother would say, "You got by the skin of your teeth." It was true because I excelled in some things, and it's either I got A's or F's. That was the story of my life. But yeah. So the question was, what can we do to stories? I just wish I had more time, more crew, more money, more everything. And I often honestly feel like if someone were to invest, it'd be a hell of an investment. It'd be a hell of an investment. Anyways, that's right.
You did just start a new podcast.
Yes. And if you see this, invest. I'll wear your shirt. I'll say your name. I'll sell your product.
What's the new show called?
It's called Blue Green's World. Not to be confused with Elbo's World. I might get sued for that one. So when people hear Blue Green's World, they think, la, 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 la. I wanted to get away from the Akron thing because Akron's great, but it limits you. People aren't searching for Akron, and if they see Akron, they're like, oh, if you're from Akron or from Ohio and it's from this area, Akron makes sense. When I grew up in Jefferson County, I had never heard of Akron before until I applied to go to college to Akron. Then I'm like, what's this Akron? And what is an Akron zip? And that's the first I'd ever heard of Akron in my life, So, yeah, had to be branded as something different. And blue green, I got to compete with algae. Yeah, blue green's got algae. I mean, algae's got blue green covered. So blue green is all you're going to get. Algae this, and then some golf courses, and then there's me eventually. So I want to be able to.
You will also get Al Green if you like to know.
That's a possibility too. But I hope that in time, when you type in blue green, I'll come up.
So what are you going to start doing on the new show then? I watched a couple episodes.
Well, this one has been more, I want to see more personality. I want to talk a little bit and discuss things and have fun. And I want people to be able to laugh at it, enjoy it, and learn something and walk away with it. And not just be a boring humdrum, we're going to talk about, I love some of those podcasts that are boring and humdrum, but I also like fun podcasts that give you knowledge, but also give you a little bit of personality too. And, maybe my goal is that I can trick someone into watching this for entertainment, and in the long run, they learn something. And maybe they're a little kinder, and maybe they're a little bit nicer, and maybe they have more compassion. That's another thing that I'd like to see. And I want to show that, just something that's not, there's a million people talking on the podcast now. I can't say I'm going to do anything different than anybody else, but I'm going to bring my personality to it. and I'm different. And I have a different personality, and I'm going to ask you unique questions. I'm not going to ask you the humdrum stuff, but this is my show. And my show is not going to be here forever. I'm fully aware of that. I'm just waiting. I know PBS has already got to cut, so it's a matter of time before I get the phone call. I hate when they call me because I'm like, my first thought is I'm going to be canned, even though they're great people. It's not that. I just know it's funding, you know?
It is, yeah.
And it's, you probably have the same aspect. You work at a library, funding, you know, you don't want to hear from the higher ups because it could be that today's your last day, literally. And that's what we have to deal with working in the public end. You never know when your last day is going to be. So I'm starting to cushion that, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a savings account. I mean, I have money, but I don't have a retirement set up for me, because I went a different route than most people went. You know, most people went for their 40-hour-a-week job and they have their 401ks, and I did that for a while, and I didn't fit in. I didn't do well unless I ran my own department, and now I went on my own. And well, I'm at a point now to where I need to make something happen, and I have all the skill set. It's just a matter of, I don't know, pushing it in that direction to make it happen. So what am I going to offer? I'm going to offer a unique point of view that asks unique questions. And I'm also going to offer a trusted source. I've been in this community now for 9 years. People trust me. Even people not necessarily, that was beautiful about what I do too. It's not right. It's not left. It's not independent. It's not political. I mean, I have my own point of views on politics and whatnot, but that's another thing that I want to do too, is bring people together and look past our politics and try to come to the table with stories, with a human element, and a little bit of humor to it as well. You know, it's like breaking bread with somebody. You know, you have a little bit of conversation, say that's the food, you laugh a little bit, and you learn a little bit at the same time. And maybe you look at somebody a little bit differently than what you did before going into it. And if I can achieve that, then I've done great. So I guess that's what I'm going to be, a little bit different.
I like it. And this is on YouTube?
It's on YouTube now. It's going to expand. I just got to open up the channels, basically. I want to put it on YouTube. I want to put it on Spotify. I'll probably have to go with Apple, even though I'm not an Apple person. I was an Apple person, but I went to Samsung years ago because of just easier for video purposes.
Yeah.
The reason why. I mean, Apple, I didn't want to go through the cloud and all the stuff. I could take a card, put it in my computer, and be like, here's files. And I couldn't do that with the Apple. Maybe you can now, but
at this point, as long as you have, you know, a location for where you're being hosted, where it's hosted, you can tell what else, how Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of them.
Yep.
You know, just send them the link. They'll send you the link.
They'll send it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it on all platforms, just a matter of time. And then it's more time for me to do social media stuff, which I don't like doing. And the other thing that I'm going to do too is I'm doing 3 points, and then I'm going to do a long point too. Just 3 things I want to talk about. And I'm trying to talk about things that I think we can all relate to. Things that might irritate people a little bit. My most recent one, I talked about the word bro. I can't stand the word bro. I hate when people say bro, brother, bro. Oh man, bro. Get another word. That's all. I'm an old guy. I'm the dude culture. That's what I refer to it as. And I was in the 90s. I was in a fraternity for all, you know, and I wasn't one of those fraternity guys, but the fraternity guys, all they did was say, bruh. And I hated it then. And I hate it now. You know, I'm not saying I dislike you for saying it. I'm just saying expand your vocabulary. Maybe pause instead of saying bro. Those are the kind of things that irritate me that I want to talk about, but make people laugh a little bit with it and not like get irritated. I don't want to be like, you suck and here's why. And I see a lot of that, you know, and I don't like that. I want to see that here's something I find interesting. Maybe you find it interesting too. And maybe I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong about it, you know? Did one about the roundabouts. Everybody hates them where I'm from, but I'm like, it's like NASCAR. This is NASCAR country. Why do you hate roundabouts, but you love NASCAR? What's the difference? Smaller? Not big enough? Do you mean to be roundabouts that need to be like 1.5 miles long? And then you're like, oh, I'm on to this roundabout. So, I don't know. I want to bring a little humor and show people a different way and put out there as many channels as I can. And whatever new channel comes out or whatever new, you know, platform comes out, I'm sure there's more and more. I'm trying to put them out as, you know, wherever we can, wherever I can, and hopefully open up to bigger and better.
Sounds nice. Well, Blue, thank you for sitting down with me, and we hope on the Falsecast everyone comes check out your show, and we hope everyone who's watched this well, come check out ours.
Yeah, so you can, this is our cross-platforming. I'm going to put this all out there. Man, we're at 75:32. I'm looking at the
Wow.
camera. Wow, this is my longest interview so far. Thank you for making time for me today, Bart. We've talked several times. I've heard you tell a lot of stories. I don't know, a lot of stories in time. Bart's a good storyteller. You should come check him out sometime. I believe have you hosted EP Cooker as
I
well?
have not an EP Cooker. I've always did a full story, full circle.
And that's another thing too. And if they would, they work with you and eventually you get to host, and being a host is a whole different thing too. I got to host an EP Cooker with Chris Miller. It was different. It was fun. I drank in those days too. So when I was a drinker, it was a little easy for me to be socially lubricated, get up there, do my thing. But now I'm able to do it without drinking. So I found it a little bit easier for me. It took me a few years to transition, from not drinking to going to clubs and seeing everybody else sloppy and me not as sloppy anymore. But I don't know, just gotta get past that drinking aspect, I guess, for me. Teach their own, I just don't ride that horse anymore. I wasn't good at it. But anyways, thank you for making time for me today. Bart had a long day at work, and he made time for me to talk about the library, to talk about his writing, to talk about his storytelling, talk about life here in the Falls in general. And thank you, and thank you for watching this episode of Blue Green's World.